Alright guys, you've introduced yourself. So give yourself a pat on the back. Congratulations, you jumped right into speaking publicly and you should be proud. Now that we know a little about you, it's time for you to wow us with some interesting, intriguing, and useful information. In this video, I'm going to give you all the details, the skinny, the tea, everything you need to know about your informative speech. Let's get to it. If you recall, your first speech, the self-introduction speech, was mainly concentrating on delivery methods and organization. You learned the skills of attention getting, eye contact, and speaking at a good pace, as well as how to get your main ideas down into main points by introducing you to the outline template. Now we're going to build on what we know, adding a specific style, which is informative speaking. Informative speaking is just that. You're going to inform your audience about a topic of interest, something that our community and you will be interested in learning about. You want to try to pick a topic that you can teach the audience something new. So in essence, you get to be the teacher. You may be thinking, Mrs. Hunter, how am I going to know what they know and what they don't know? For this audience analysis, you do have a way to ponder about our audience. Review what you saw in the self-introduction speeches. Look at the ages of the people in our class community. Look at their interests or even their professions to give you signs or clues as to what they may or may not know and be interested to learn about. You should be aware by your textbook that there are 3 common categories for informative speaking that are important as you pick a topic. The first category is an informative speech of description. This is where you inform us about a person, a place, an event, or even a process. The second category is an informative speech of definition, where you define a term, a system, or a theory. You may even use the compare and contrast style, where you share similarities and differences of those things. The third category is an informative speech of demonstration. This type is where you detail a process. An easy way to think about a speech of demonstration is to think like you're giving an audience a how-to, and you tell them how to do something or how not to do something. There are hundreds of topics to choose from, and your textbooks gives you a few ideas. You can even Google some examples of different things that you might want to talk about to share with our class. However, topics in class must be approved, so be sure to check out the Speech Topics Guidelines video. You need to remember in informative speaking that you are sharing information, not opinions. Oftentimes, students start on these speeches and they want to tell us their opinion or begin persuading towards a stance. You will have an opportunity to persuade later in the semester. But for this speech, you are simply telling us about a topic using facts and figures, different types of data, and even directions on how to do something. You will also have some research to be included in the speech to bring credibility to the information you're sharing. You always want to present true and useful information. Next up, let's look at the informative speech directions.
At the top, the assignment prompt is that you're going to give a speech that seeks to educate, demonstrate, teach, or expand one's knowledge on a topic. And I've already gone over the different types of speeches that you can do. So the details, the nitty-gritty. Your speech should be 5 to 7 minutes in length, and this time your speech should be delivered extemporaneously. Of course, in your text, you know that extemporaneously means that you're going to use notes. So you can use your outline or you can use some note cards, but this time you do not want to read from a manuscript. Okay, and you can use the outline that is included in the module, the outline template, or you can choose to use the one where you do a full sentence outline. Either one is fine, but it's important for the outline to show your organization. You will have a visual aid to present with your speech. This says PowerPoint. You are free to use other styles of visual aids if you want to use like Google Slides, or some students even like to use Canva or anything like that. It just needs to be able to be shown while you're speaking, and you need to be able to turn it in a Microsoft PowerPoint file or a PDF. Okay, it says you're going to have to cite quality academic sources within your speech. Okay, you're going to need 4 sources for a score of good or 6 sources for a score of excellent. You need to be dressed professionally, okay? So business casual. Of course, you're not going to have hats, hoodies, or anything like that. I've kind of gone over that in the video submission video, but you can check that out for a reminder if you need. And then for this speech, you're going to need your outline. You're going to need to turn in your PowerPoint or your visual aid. And you're also going to need to turn in an APA reference sheet listing the sources cited in your speech. So you want to make sure to do that and check out the APA reference information inside of our Blackboard module. Okay, so keys for success. You're going to have a clear organizational pattern. Okay, so you're going to pick the different type of speech and look in your textbook to see what organizational pattern works best. You're going to try to be familiar. Well, you're not going to try. I know you're going to be familiar with your speech. You're not going to try to memorize it or read it word for word, but you want to speak extemporaneously. So you want to be very, very familiar with the ideas and the overall points in your speech. Okay. So that's going to require some practice. Yes, yes, yes. Practice, practice, and practice. Again, you want to practice speaking at a good pace. You want to practice your main points. And it's even good to practice in front of someone if possible. Okay. You also want to read your rubric to look at all the elements of the rubric. And you need to understand oral citations. And I have a nice video explaining how to do that the most effective way. For this speech, we have two rubrics, a documents rubric as well as a speech rubric. Okay, and so the evaluation for the informative speech rubric covers all the things, but as you see, that's different from the introduction speech, is that you have points for citing your sources, that your sources are of good quality, that you have good transitions. All right, and it still has some of the same things as far as your delivery. It does still have up here your attention grabber, your statement of credibility, your relevance, your thesis, and previewing your main points. So all those things are the same. You still need to have those. And then, of course, your body and your conclusion. And then also it has everything for the delivery. This time, though, it has lack of fillers. So you want to try to avoid a lot of uhs, ums, like, etc. Okay? And you want to have some enthusiasm and everything as you're speaking. Then also it says PowerPoint. Right here could be another visual aid, however you want to do it, but it shows that the slides are easily readable, that you have an appropriate mix of elements, and that your visual aid does not replace or distract from your message, okay? So you want to make sure to do that. So that is the speech rubric. Then you're going to have a documents rubric. And the documents rubric is basically showing you the importance of preparing, all right? So these are all the things, all these points that you see all the way to right here is all about the actual outline, all right? So you need to fill out your outline in its entirety. And then the rest of the points are for your reference pages. And so you want to try to get your references the best way, as close to, great as possible. So you want to check out the APA reference guide. And then also you're going to have points for your actual visual aid. So when you get ready to upload everything for the speech, you're going to have to upload all 3 items in order to earn all the points for the speech documents.
All right, everyone. Now that we've gone over everything, hopefully you feel confident to start preparing. Please remember that all of these instructions and written directions are located inside of our classroom portal for easy access and reminders. Be sure to check out the topics and research guidelines videos so that you start and finish on the right track. I'm super excited for your informative speeches. I know you're going to do fantastic. Of course, I'm always available to you. If you have any questions or concerns, be sure to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to get things squared away with you. See you in class.